Not me, but my daughter. We used to live next door to a couple that was a Trich foster family. When law enforcement had to remove kids from a home, this was on the short list of approved foster homes to place the kids in right away. My daughter was in elementary school at the time, and she would go out of her way to introduce herself to the kids and take time to play with them. Several groups of kids came and went before we moved to another state. Several months after we moved, we were in town visiting and bumped into the mom of one of my daughter's classmates. This mom is a child psychologist, and she said, "I just wanted you to know I work a lot with the kids in foster care, and I kept hearing different kids talk about their friend. I looked at these kids' paperwork and saw they had been placed in a home next door to where you all lived. It dawned on me that they were talking about your daughter. Just so you know, she made a lot of difference in helping these kids recover from their trauma. Kiddo is a freshman in high school now and still looks to help others." Once at college, I was hanging out with a couple of friends in an art class, and right after I left I heard one turn to the other and say, "He is such a nice guy," and the other girl replied with an enthusiastic, "I know. He really is." People complimenting you behind your back is, in my opinion, the best form of compliment. A few months ago, I was hanging out with a girl one day who was showing interest in me, and I was kinda on board myself. I accidentally saw that she had posted about me in her group chat, and it was something along the lines of, "This is the kinda guy I want." Even better, her friend, who also happened to be my coworker, responded to that by saying, "He's honestly so nice." This made me feel even better, because I honestly thought that girl couldn't stand me. It gave me a giant boost of confidence. I'm a longtime drummer, been playing in bands for over 20 years, recently just joined a new band, and after our first gig together, I overheard the singer talking with someone about the set and sound of the new Linux. The singer was saying that I'm a born drummer. This guy was totally meant to play drums. I'm so stoked he's in my band. Probably the coolest thing I accidentally overheard about myself. I worked in a call center for a while, and we weren't meant to hang up first. The system saw calls where we hung up as fishy and would need to be reviewed, so they messed up our stats. And one day, after setting a lady up with a cheaper than subscription, she didn't hang up properly, and I heard her say that lady was really lovely. I had to go away from the calls for a minute cause it made me really emotional. That job was tough, so it was nice to see I wasn't becoming a dick. I'm a journalist. When I was working a news internship at a local TV station, I was asked to go do some quick man on the street interviews on the other side of town. After we got back to the newsroom, I heard the camera guy, a veteran of like 30 years who's worked with some of the best reporters in my city, say to our executive producer, "You know, that kid's a real journalist." Gave me the biggest confidence boost ever as an intern. I'm now employed full-time at that news outlet as of 4 days ago. Long story, my coworker and I got our jobs at this company at the same time, went through training together, got qualified for certain tasks together, and eventually both got management positions at the same time. He and I are good friends, I'd say, and we cooperate and work together seamlessly when needed. But our leadership methods are vastly different. After a lot of my own research, I found a foundation of positive reinforcement is equally, if not more effective than an iron fist type leadership, so that's how I run my program for my crew. He's the exact opposite and is very open about trying to make his crew fear him. Both our methods get the job done, surely, but I try my best to make sure my crew doesn't dread coming to work. These guys and girls are the backbone of our operation and deserve respect. They're holding me up and making me look good with their accomplishments, so I take care of them as best I can and always give words of encouragement. So much so that I have this little joke where I call out someone's name across the hangar and just point at them like, "Good job bro," and they get the message and laugh. Good vibes. Anyway, our work schedules operate on a 3-month bidding rotation. Each mechanic will bid for which crew they want to be on, which alternates weeks, and those with the higher seniority in the company get the more desirable shifts. It boils down to choosing to be on my crew or my coworkers. Basically picking who your manager will be. Long story short, I heard people were fighting to get on my crew, and overheard numerous times that my crew was much more preferred to be on. Just made me feel good that my efforts aren't in vain. I feel bad for my counterpart, but at the same time, a guilty part of me is like, yes, I was with two friends at a bar, one of whom I've known for half my life, and one I met more recently. While I was at the bar ordering a drink, the newer friend said to the other, "You know, my name is such a great judge of character. I know that anyone who he calls a friend is someone I can always get along with." And then they spent like 5 minutes, long line at the bar, discussing all the things they like about me. Heard a girl compliment my looks to her friends in my second language. She never figured out I could understand what she was saying. I wouldn't even consider myself attractive, so it was nice I guess. Was at a party with classmates. Decided to stay the night and overheard some girls talking about me being handsome while they thought I was asleep. I wasn't. I was hospitalized for 6 months after a suicide attempt as a teenager. I had to go to school in the hospital. I love languages, and every week a French teacher would come in and give me French lessons. She gave me an essay to write for homework, and I wrote about my illness. I overheard her telling my nurse that it was a joy to correct my work. It might not seem like much, but to a 17-year-old girl who felt totally worthless, it meant the whole world. I wish I could tell that teacher that I'm almost finished my degree in modern languages now. Went through a bad breakup a few years ago. First boyfriend I had brought home to my family, and it turned out he has been cheating on me the whole time. I was so embarrassed, not that I felt unworthy, but that my taste was that bad, I guess. I basically told my mom, and she took over the line of communication, so that I didn't have to tell everybody. My family was furious. My mother told me much later that one of my older cousins was ready to drive down and torch his house because when she thought of me, she was reminded of the passage from Pride and Prejudice about an accomplished woman, and that he just couldn't do that to me. No one gives a shit about that guy now, but the fact that she thinks I'm worth such a high compliment still gets me teary. I was at a party at the residence of the dude I'm now married to. His room was the room with the iPad, and the residents carefully guarded it and set me with the task of keeping the music going, a task I took seriously. I was in there planning the next playlist when I heard him through the window say, "I'm pretty sure she's a lot smarter than me and way out of my league."